Alright, so Klay Thompson is a premier NBA player in terms of shooting the basketball. When you hear his name, you think of tough shots. You probably think of some deep threes, basically half-court range. You think of a super quick release and shoot probably even Game 6 of the playoffs. And in recent years, besides this current season, of course, he's been at the top of the list of three-pointers made by players for each NBA season, all while being the second option on the Warriors behind Curry before KD's arrival, where he was the third option for the last 3 seasons. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, look at the team he was on and what they accomplished. I just bring it up because it furthers how impressive it is to rank that high in made threes. Anyway, even though he's still playing, there are things in his legacy already solidified, like being a future Hall of Famer, top 5 shooter of all time. Could really even say number 2, but this video not about all that. So yeah, getting his jersey retired by the Warriors is also a given. I mean, I could go on, but y'all get what I'm saying, just greatness. And with that greatness comes not just comparisons to previous greats, but also young talent on the rise. And with how well Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson have been performing for the Miami Heat in just their initial seasons, their respective abilities to also shoot the ball so well is already drawn in high praise from fans, other players, media outlets, media members. And one of the main compliments is their similarities to Steph and Klay as a duo.
Now let me tell you something about those 2 white dudes, Herro and Robinson. Let me tell you something right now. They launch it in a way, they look like they ready to shoot from the parking lot. You understand? Who have we said that about? There's only one tag team that we have said that about.
Steph and Klay.
Man.
However, I'm solely focusing on Klay for this video because, no offense, but comparing either of their play styles to Curry is kind of disrespectful to the man. There's really none like him besides Dame to a degree. It is what it is. Take it how you want it. But yeah, like I was saying though, these 2 young snipers in Miami are on just such a roll right now that people are comparing them to some of the best all-time great shooters. And in this video, I'm not saying pump the brakes on the hype because these 2 are definitely cold, don't get it twisted, but I am going to give my take on how accurate and actually deserving these 2 are of such dope comparisons. Like I said, it may not seem like it because his career is still in motion, but Klay is an NBA legend already. But yeah, before I go further, man, what's good, YouTube? Plug Speaks back with a new video, man. If you're new, subscribe. If you see the hype in these 2, sub up, man. I'm posting quality hoops content twice a week, sometimes even 3 times a week, and I'm trying to grow the channel. Back to the video. So I mentioned in the intro, Tyler and Duncan have done some amazing stuff this season, and I'm aware that for most people, the Miami Heat and their solid personnel was just put on the radar after beating the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks in just 5 games. So let me provide a little bit of background. During the shortened regular season this year, Tyler Herro averaged 13.5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 42% shooting from the field and 39% shooting from 3, and only 27 minutes as a rookie while coming off the bench for a majority of the season. He had an incredible performance from 3 versus the Wizards where he shot 7 for 9 in an overtime win, and really he just beat the expectations of a lot of people as he wasn't that high of a pick in the 2019 NBA draft. He only went number 13. And all of this pretty much earned himself a spot on the all-rookie second team for the NBA. I mean, all of us are praising him now, but all throughout the year, man, he's been receiving some shine here and there, like when Jimmy Butler said he's going to be big for Miami. And yes, he's a little bit biased, of course, because that's his teammate, but that's still no light compliment coming from Butler, because as we all know, having Butler as a teammate isn't for everybody. But yeah, now Duncan Robinson, on the other hand, had a regular season you could say even more impressive than Tyler Herro. Because just off the stereotype of his journey, it says he shouldn't even be here. He was just a D3 college athlete for a year at Williams College, then transferred to D1 Michigan, went undrafted in the 2018 NBA draft, then got picked up by Miami and played for their G League team last season, and balled out as a starter on the actual team this season as he averaged 13.5 points, 3 rebounds, making nearly 4 threes per game on 47% shooting from the field and basically 45% shooting from 3. He even had a game with 10 threes versus the Hawks and became the Heat's franchise leader in made threes for a single season. So yeah, Tyler and Duncan are legit. You can probably already understand why the Splash Bro Klay comparisons are there. Shoot, you may be wondering where the issue is with the comparison at all. Like, of course they're deserving. Well, yes, but no. Because first off, as far as Tyler Herro goes, the Klay comparison really does not fit him as well as you may think. Yes, his catch and shoot ability is there, although his release is not as fast and his off-ball movement coming off screens is not really compared. A key ability of his, which I believe lessens their similarities, is that Herro can also take his defenders off the dribble as far as shot creating goes, and opts to do so seemingly more often than Klay does. Also, I know he only averaged 2 assists, But watching the way he gets assists and how he looks at the defense before making his offensive moves, I really believe with a little bit more development and just more minutes as a starter, his playmaking could transcend Klay with no issue. But there's one thing Klay has on him that just easily makes the comparison with Tyler and him look goofy. And that's defense. We all know, or at least should know, Klay's defense is something serious. As in the past couple seasons, whenever the Warriors play another team with an elite point guard, Klay usually has to guard them for Steph. And you have to notice it during a game, really, because with Klay, his defensive stats have never been anything crazy, but he did make NBA All-Defensive second team during the 2018-19 season for a reason. But now for Duncan Robinson again. Now, I will admit, to me, his comparison to Klay makes way more sense and matches better than the Tyler Herro one. Just a great comparison, really, and this is because watching him play, clearly just like Klay, he is a catch-and-shoot specialist that rarely goes off the dribble. He has a very pretty jumper with a super quick release, just like Klay, and I guess it's only right that they stand at the same height of 6'7". But you know, it's deeper than all of this, because what makes this comparison so valid is how Duncan finds his opportunities for three-point shots and relocates based on the defense to make himself as effective as possible without relying on the coach to make a play for him to score. Although Eric Spoelstra is a very good coach. Like I said, he's always moving, taking advantage of screens and reading the defense to gain the upper hand whenever the defense eases off of him even just a little bit so he can get to his spots and just light the place up. Because similarly to Klay and really basically every notable shooter in time, when it gets hot, he's hot. Just leave the court, pack your bags, GG. But yeah, one more thing to make this comparison even more valid is that in an interview before he even entered the bubble, Duncan let it be known that before play in the bubble even began, that he intentionally studies great shooters, looking at how they make the most of some of their opportunities. And of course, he name dropped Klay Thompson.
Edits that I've been watching have been catch and shoot players, particularly guys like Ray Allen, Klay Thompson, and one really big emphasis I feel like for me is just creativity off the ball in terms of being able to leverage the screens being set, create space.
But yeah, Herro was asked a similar question, and I will admit he mentioned Klay, but he added to his list of film study players like CJ McCollum and Bradley Beal, who are established scorers in this league, who yes, may catch and shoot from time to time, but they are also very adept at creating their own shot and just taking over games. Anyway, as far as differences go between Duncan and Klay, another one I would say, just like Herro, I would say Duncan's defense is nothing to go off about and praise or anything like that. He's not at all terrible, but his efforts on that end and actual production is not like Klay's. And he does not have to defend the opposing team's elite guard. But besides this, all he really needs, if you think about it, is a signature playoff game he's known for going off in like Klay, like Game 6. At that point, they'd be identical. But nah, that's pretty much it for me. Both Duncan and Tyler are clearly great shooters on the path for bigger things. I'm not saying they don't have the potential to be the new Splash Bros, but that nickname may have been awarded to them a little early considering how great Steph and Klay are. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Like the sub if you're new, share all that. I really appreciate y'all watching, and I'm out.